Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Universe. I am Aaron St. Dennis. Follow me everywhere at FF Mad Scientist. Joined by everyone today. We got SC Romero at the PPR Show, Jesse Muller at JMuller05, and Hollywood Jack down there at FF_Rebel. We are here today to do, it's kind of a mix between a rankings and a tier list here. We're doing wide receivers, and let me fucking tell you, we've got receivers today, running backs tomorrow. I can't wait to be done with this hypothetical projection bullshit and see actual data. You see all these guys where it's like, oh, they've moved up 14 slots. How? We haven't had any fucking games. Why are we moving up players? So can't wait to have actual data and, real things to talk about instead of stupid training camp preseason hype videos. So let's get into wide receivers so we can fucking get into real stuff in a couple of days. Where do we want to start? I have us I didn't feel like doing the tier maker because it's a lot of work to input all the stupid players. I had it set up, but it was only top 24, top 32, sorry, one for each team. So what I have here is it's up to 20 rounds. We're not going to go that far. It's not even a mock draft. It's set up that way. 10 teams here, so we can go 10 across. I literally have it set to nothing but wide receivers, and we're going to kind of use these. I'm just going to say, we'll kind of assign players each round as a tier. So you're going to have, 8 players in some rounds and 4 in the others. Did anybody notice this? I was looking this up. Apparently, there's a new emoji feature in sleeper draft rooms. That's what the little smiley face is.
What does it do?
I don't know. I seen it the other day in your draft, but I don't know why there is a little bar that's supposed to come up around somewhere with a bunch of emojis, but I don't know why mine's not coming up. Maybe it's because we haven't started.
Trolling my league with that all the time.
Let me see if I hit start. Oh, there we go. See, motherfuckers. Why are we auto picking? Anyway, so you get my point. The little things come up right there. That's kind of cool. So
is this your first time running the mock, Aaron?
Oh,
with auto picks.
Fuck. Listen to him today. Holy shit. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks and he's fucking taking shots at me. Oh,
baby.
Welcome back.
Hey, it's football season, right? Trash talking begins.
Let's go.
Note
Sleeper, we love you.
All FFUW shows.
We love Sleeper, but can we get like Debbie going here? SC, you need to be front and center on that front line on that fight. Like we're getting emojis, we're getting all this other crap, right? But we need Debbie. We need Debbie.
You don't like the horoscope signs? I mean, come on.
What upsets me is they allow college prop bets. Like you can go in there and bet like yards and stuff for college players. It's like so you have the players inputted. Just you don't have to just put in the scores. Now let's get the Debbie, the college football going.
They have the scoreboard for each game. Like the players are in the system for that reason.
Are you kidding me? Dude, these fucking don't get me wrong, Sleeper is the only platform I play on for the most part, but they can barely fucking do NFL IDP, let alone college football. Like, do we not remember how long did we have to do fucking rookie IDP mock drafts on a spreadsheet? And even now, if you go in, even kickers and DSTs, you ever look at their fucking rankings? The kicker rankings, they're ranked by who they expect to have the most extra points made. Nothing for field goals, nothing for nothing. They're fucking let's not go in. Anyway,
I mean, it's, no one really cares about IDP, unfortunately. So it's just kind of is what it is.
Whoa.
Love an IDP. Love it.
Get out.
You're on an island, Jesse. You're on an island here.
All right.
I played IDP. So, I enjoy it, but we're very much in the minority.
Going to get started here. Actually, I suppose. What are your thoughts here? I guess I'm going to reset the board a little here quickly because I want to actually make it so you guys can fucking see the player list. What are your thoughts here on wide receivers? Anything? We're going to do these for obviously redraft. We're going to do them. I'm just using default half PPR. So, obviously some of these guys would be higher or lower in certain formats. Let's not do anything too fancy here. Tyreek Hill changed from questionable to healthy. That's very timely considering he's the first player we're going to talk about. But anything we need to get out of the way before we get started with this?
Nope.
We're
ready to roll.
All right. First tier here. I assume we're going to go Tyreek Hill's the first guy off the board, or are you guys going CeeDee Lamb?
Tyreek is mine.
Tyreek. This guy said, he did come out this he did come out this offseason, said he doesn't really care about the 2,000 yards again, but back-to-back 1,700 yard seasons. Tua's the guy. Waddle's banged up too. I mean, Tyreek's going to go off.
But so regardless of what order we all have them, we agree it's Hill Lamb in some form.
That is what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the interesting question. That's the obvious top tier here. Do we have the next three? Three for me in a tier. I have that as my tier 2 of Jefferson, Chase, and St. Brown. But my tiers are notoriously like I'm not a big on 8 guys in one tier. I'll take 8 guys and I'll break it down into 2 small tiers. So for me, I have Hill, Lamb as tier 1, and then the next 3 guys are tier 2. Do you guys have the next 3 guys in tier 1, or is it a new tier for you?
I have 5 guys in tier 2, but my tier 1 is those 2 guys.
Okay.
Yeah. And Amon-Ra would be 3 for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say for tier – actually, that's wrong. For me, it's 4. For the second tier, I have it as – I have Jamar Chase first. Obviously, we'll move these around. Then I have – this is the one where I might lose you guys. I have St. Brown second. I believe I have Jefferson 3. And my final in this tier, I have A.J. Brown. Thoughts, discrepancies, disagreements? What are we thinking?
Those four guys, but I'm adding Garrett Wilson in the tier.
Yep. Garrett Wilson's in there for me as well.
Okay,
my
so
whole
issue, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I'm saying my whole issue with AJ Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown is like the floor is incredibly high. I don't know how likely it is they end up being wide receiver 1. Like AJ Brown just has serious competition. He's never been pushing close to wide receiver 1 on points per game basis. So like I think he's the highest floor guy. But like I think we should throw like this looks right to me. However, what order you guys want to do him in, totally fine. Like I have Jefferson 3, but I don't really care. Like I'm happy with any one of these guys.
Yeah, and I have this same order as well, except Garrett Wilson is in between Amon-Ra and Justin Jefferson. I'm pushing him up all the way to 5. Like, I just think he's going to be a monster. And like Jesse's saying, he's the guy that can be the dark horse wide receiver 1, and I don't even think it's that spicy of a pick.
Yeah.
Who, Wilson?
Like
You're saying Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, there's no competition. Like with him and CeeDee Lamb, there's just no competition for targets on those teams. So those guys are going to get all the and I think Jefferson also too. Like he's get like Addison, he's not competition. Like he's just better than the other players. So yeah, I'm with you guys.
I have St. Brown, then I have AJ Brown, then Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Justin Jefferson. So I have Jefferson at 7, and that's more. I don't trust Darnold. I mean, as much as we want to, and then if it's not Darnold, who is it? You know, Justin Jefferson will be quarterback proof, right? But at the same time, I mean, you still have to rely on the quarterback to make the accurate passes. So at that point, it's like, man, I think Jefferson takes a dip. He's a phenomenal wide receiver, still top in Dynasty, but for redraft, I'm pushing him down a little bit.
Yeah, it takes a dip 1,200 yards this season. Oh well.
Yeah.
I think that's like his floor. Like it's an incredibly high floor for Jeff. Yeah, like similar to Christian McCaffrey, they can take a dip and still be a top 5 position player. Like that's kind of how I view Jefferson. He's just so good, man. And he's gonna see what with Darnold and that crappy offense, they're gonna be throwing a lot because the defense is terrible. He could push 180 targets, and if you're giving Jefferson 180 targets, like, bro, sign me up. Like I'm willing to ride that ride.
I think a lot of it too depends on how healthy Aaron Jones is. Because if Aaron Jones is healthy and they're allowing him to run the ball, he's also a good pass catching back too. So that's something where, you know, over the past couple of years, Dalvin Cook, when he was there, we saw him kind of decline and them not necessarily use it as much. So it's like if Aaron Jones is still a healthy back at his age, then you know, that could definitely take some things away. And then when Hawkinson comes back too, but Hawkinson will be gone for
sure.
Okay, like I said, for me, I had this as 3 tiers because I have Hill, Lamb, then it's Chase, St. Brown, Jefferson. I had A.J. Brown and Wilson as my next tier by themselves for tier 3. But either way, I think we agree on the top 7. My question here is, for me, regardless of how many tiers you have this as 1, 2, or 3, this is a real teardrop for me here. I think I have Wilson or whoever you have at 7. This is a huge drop between Wilson. I think for me, it's A.J. Brown, and then Marvin Harrison Jr., just because we never know with rookies. Puka, I'm kind of worried about Cooper Kupp coming back, and I'm not a big Drake London guy. So for me, this goes from the top 7 where it's absolute must-have guys, where I'll take them over almost anyone, to maybe I start considering running back in this range here, and it's like I'll take Taylor and Gibbs. So what are your thoughts here? Is this a big – you know, is this the first big – I know it's a different tier, but is this the first big value drop we see? After
these 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because like my tier 3 is pretty big. It's 8 to 14. Like it's a pretty ginormous tier. But yeah, like it's definitely a tier drop for sure.
Yeah, because after you get these guys if like they're gone, then I'm hoping I'm getting a running back. If all 7 are going, then you're hopefully getting Brees or Bijan at the end with these guys going first. So I'd ride that over the next guys.
For me too, it's a case like we've got 2 in the first tier, 5 in the second. I think we're about to start getting into tiers that have much more players in them because we get to a range where someone said 8 to. For me, it's like 8 to 18. It's all probably one big. Like maybe I think my next group. I guess we'll move on to that. For me, I have Harrison. I think. Then we'll go Nakua. I have London, and let me scroll through this. I believe I have Olave as the last one in that tier. The one I don't know how to, I'm sure you guys probably have some disagreement there. This is where it gets interesting, and it's like me and Jesse went in his draft yesterday. It's personal preference. The guys I'm targeting, he was avoiding. But the one for me, I don't know whether or not, I think typically I include Devontae Adams as the last guy in this tier, but I feel like he's kind of a tier 4 here, whatever you want to call this. He's the bridge in between the guys I still really want and the guys where it's like, okay, Ayuk, Samuel, blah, 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 blah. Like the next 20 guys are all the same. What do you guys feel about the Harrison, Nakua, Drake London, Olave, Adams? Is there anyone that should be excluded in that group? Anyone that you guys think should move up? What do you think?
I have both. Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead, Steve.
I was just saying, taking out London and Olave, and I'm putting in Ayuk in that next tier. And I just have those 4 guys.
Yeah, I think you can make the case for both San Francisco guys. I personally have Nico and Jalen Waddle in this tier. I think they're incredible talents in like some of the best offenses in the NFL. So like I'm not worried about those guys. Like Nico, like I have him as my wide receiver 8. Like I prefer him over Harrison because Harrison at wide receiver 8 prices like that, he has to beat anything like any rookie's ever done pretty much. Basically, has to beat Puka from last year to hit wide receiver 8 prices. So like I have him more as the back just because he's a rookie wide receiver. It's really hard to do that. But yeah, you can make the case for Puka. He's incredible. London, really good with Kirk Cousins, Devontae Adams. I like all of those guys. But to your point, you can make a case up to probably about wide receiver 20 and have a reasonable argument. So it's hard to find a disagreement.
That's a good point you make, though, because essentially the greatest rookie receiver season we've ever had for fantasy was Puka Nakua, who finished as wide receiver 4. So at Harrison's current, this is why I don't have Harrison. At his current price, he basically has to have the greatest season a rookie receiver's ever had in the NFL, or he's not going to achieve this draft cost. And that's what I've been saying all along. I like his talent. And in Dynasty, it's a whole different category or a whole different conversation. But like, I think I have none of him. I have some Nakua. I have London, Olave. I have everyone on this board. I have almost no Harrison outside of Dynasty leagues because it was like with Bijan last year. What was Bijan going off the board as RB2 or 3? He basically would have had to have the greatest rookie running back season of all time to pay it off, and he didn't. He had a good season, but he was a huge bust based on ADP. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he needed to be Saquon Barkley his rookie year. Like that's the type of year you need for him to do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. It's just like we're drafting them at their ceiling. I don't mind it because he's one of the best talents we've seen at the wide receiver position. His floor is going to be incredibly high. So if he's like wide receiver 13, I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed, right? Like I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh no, it kills you. But it's hard for him. I'm saying if we're going to put one of the San Francisco wide receivers up, we should put Debo up because he's consistently outscored Ayuk throughout his career.
I have Debo over Ayuk too.
I would put both of those guys up here, and then like I would make the case for Nico and Waddle. Those would be 2 other guys if you want.
Yeah,
I just like it back to the Harrison. Go ahead.
No, let's keep on Harrison.
No, sorry, I was just going to wrap up with Harrison. My other thing was, I think we've gone too far with the rookie wide receivers. Back when Jefferson and Chase started all this, they were huge hits. But if you look back at ADP, Chase was going in like the 5th round of redraft leagues. Jefferson was in the 9th or 10th. They were huge hits. Even Nakua, he was undrafted. That's why they were hits. We weren't drafting Justin Jefferson 8 wide receiver 8 overall. Jamar Chase was a top 10 or 12 pick. We weren't drafting him as the wide receiver 8 off the board.
People are taking Jalen Reagor over Jefferson.
But that's what I mean. So it's so unpredictable here that we're expecting too much. And it's just, I think it's gone too far. We're expecting every top 10 wide receiver and quarterback to just walk in and be CJ Stroud and Justin Jefferson. And that's why I have none of these guys in redraft, because it's just such a bad bet. You're betting against the house and you're just not going to win. But sorry, go back to what you were saying, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about that for a second and then transition to my guy. But with Marvin Harrison, he's also on the Arizona Cardinals, right? He's not coming into a situation here where they have to rely on him. We saw Trey McBride last year. We know what James Conner can do. We know what Kyler can do with his legs. He's gonna get a crap ton of targets. So it's like Harrison and Neighbors. If you want to make those bets, I get that. We haven't seen it. They're going to get a crap ton of targets. The talent is there, but I agree with you. We're drafting him at his ceiling. So a guy I would put here, who I have one spot ranked above Marvin Harrison, is DK Metcalf. I just think he's absolutely going to go off. We've seen the double-digit touchdowns plenty of times before. I think we get back there. We talked about Tyler Lockett descending and that offense ascending, and I think DK is going to be the recipient of it, especially in half PPR with the TDs. I want all the DK I can get, and he's far cheaper than where I have him at the wide receiver 12.
Before you transition, I know you said you wanted to go to something else. I think Neighbors you mentioned is a far better value. He's going at what, a 15 wide receiver pick value here? Like, so we had wide receiver 8 for Harrison. He's all the way down here at 22. So I don't necessarily think Neighbors is going to be a Puka Nacua season, but I'd rather him at wide receiver 22 than Harrison at wide receiver 8. It's just a much better bet here. So you're muted.
Yeah,
You're muted.
If we want to make a case for Neighbors, we totally can. Like, he's that good of a player. Both of these guys, I get it. And it's just kind of, I will say on Metcalf, like the target earning profile is a little bit worrisome to push him super high because he needs to take a step forward this year. And it's entirely possible. You know, I love Geno. I love Metcalf, all those guys. It's just when we're drafting him kind of in that range, like we need him to be a stud. And he's been a little bit below these elite guys. So, like, he's not the target earning profile of like Nacua, and like London took a hit last year too. So if we're worried about DK, we should probably be worried about London. His targets were like 23%, and he was at 29 the year before. So it's some of these guys. I think all of these guys have a little bit of like shine worn off of them for whatever reason. There's issues with their profile. This is why they're to the tier 3 for us.
All right, so let's clean up this tier a little here. So we'll talk about the guys we're going to add to it in a second. Of the 5 guys that are currently in this tier, does anybody really have a major dispute of somebody that needs to come out of this tier? Or are we good with these 5?
I'm lower on Olave, but
Olave too would be mine.
I'm lower on Olave.
Okay.
I like him in Dynasty there, but redraft, man, I was super high on it with Carr, and Carr just didn't look like he was doing it last year. So
the thing about Olave is his target earning profile is like the same thing as Garrett Wilson. It's fucking almost identical. It's just Derek Carr's his quarterback.
Okay.
And that's
the most
a little bit
different.
Well, interesting
So
question here because
He doesn't
rumors
get
that came out that the Vikings may be interested in Carr. If it's Rattler, does that change what you think about him in redraft, or does that push him further down?
I prefer Rattler. Give me
I would
Rattler.
prefer the upside shot of Rattler, but like, dude, he's a worse quarterback than Carr. So like, it's gonna be a rough go for Olave and Shaheed, all those guys. Because
I don't think he's a worse quarterback than Carr. I don't think you're a worse quarterback than Carr.
The floor is lower.
He's a rookie.
Okay,
That's what it is. So
yeah, but okay, so we've got it down to 4 here. The 3 that were mentioned are Ayuk, Samuel, and Nico. I would like to include Samuel myself. I don't have Ayuk or Nico in this tier. What are everyone's thoughts about those 3? Which 3, if any, should find their way into this tier here?
Waddle for sure for me and Nico.
Yes, I have Waddle. Yep.
You guys have Waddle? Nobody else? You don't have either 49er or Nico?
If we're putting one in, put both 49ers. Like, if we're putting one in, just put both of them in.
I'd rather put neither in personally, but what do you guys think?
That's fine. Either way is fine with me. I'd say just one or the other.
Yeah, I'm neither. I don't mind it, but I like in this range Kupp, and we still haven't mentioned Mike Evans yet. I think Mike Evans needs to be up here. He's far too low. He's my wide receiver 9 at the moment. He might need to come down a spot or 2, but Mike Evans I just think is going to absolutely go off. Godwin's going to eat underneath, but Evans in the red zone.
Yeah, I like Evans too. And Evans, I mean, it's funny because Evans is kind of like that Josh Jacobs. Like every year, I feel people just undervalue him because of age or whatever. I mean, Jacobs is still young too, but age, whatever. And Mike Evans right now, I can't think of another wide receiver that has had 1,000 yards every single season of his career. So he's going to produce. He's going to be a primary target for the team. They re-signed him. He loves it in Tampa. Baker Mayfield came out and did well with him. I mean, they're all signs point for him to just be top 10 again. And probably the cheapest you can get as a top 10 wide receiver.
Yeah, I think the change in the passing attack this year is what worries me a little bit about Evans. If they're not going to push it as much downfield as they did, because they pushed it a ton. He's like near the league leaders in downfield targets, Mike Evans, and he's usually up there. It's just I think the floor is a little bit lower this year because of the change in scheme, how they're doing it. They're going to feature Godwin a little bit more. So I don't know if he necessarily has the same ceiling he had last year, but like he's another high floor play guy. You know, at worst case, you're going to get 1,000 yards and like 8 touchdowns. Like that's the bare minimum for Mike Evans. That's what we're going to get.
Exactly.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to close out the third tier with Marvin Harrison Jr., Puka Nacua, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, Mike Evans. This is where it gets interesting for me. There's a lot of players. I think we're going to freaking fill 10 across. So I have Olave. I'm not necessarily putting them in order, but I have both Niners. I have Nico. Oh, maybe it's not as far. I have Malik Neighbors. I don't have Steph Diggs. I don't have DJ Moore. I don't have Cooper Kupp. For me, I have 2 more here. I have DK, and I believe I have Pittman and Smith, but I'd have to double check. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Something for me. What are you guys? What are your major disagreements here? We'll add some, subtract some. We'll move it around a bit.
I got a lot of guys in this tier. So I have Deontay. I have the Kansas City Chiefs guys. I have Rashee Rice. I have Cooper Kupp. DJ Moore is in this tier for me as well. It's pretty big.
I didn't mean to.
My cutoff point is what wide receiver is it? It goes to wide receiver 25 for me. So I'm wide receiver 15 through 25. So it's like a lot of guys in this tier. I think God, you can also make the case for God, like being in this tier as well.
Yep.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I have Godwin in this tier. I have Godwin in this tier as well. Another guy of consideration, though I'm not going to fight you on it, is Amari Cooper. Again, we're talking about no other target competition. I don't necessarily believe in Deshaun Watson, but they don't really have a running game until Chubb comes back. Jerome Ford was, pretty poor down the stretch. I love him for where he's ranked, but I don't know that they're going to be able to push the ball. He'll get a ton of carries. I don't know if he's going to be able to really do it. So they got to pass the ball, and Amari's the only one who can really, get those yards.
All right.
I think
so. Let's run through this rather lengthy list here and see if we can shorten it a bit. So Olave, do we agree Olave belongs in this tier?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Anybody want to move Ayuk or Debo out of this tier? No?
Nope.
They're good? Okay. Nico and Neighbors, everybody good with them in this tier?
Yep.
All right. DK, Pittman, Devontae, Higgins. I'm sure this is where it really, for me,
you can kick Pittman out.
You guys like Pittman? Any of those 4? Does anybody think any of those guys? I think I want to keep DK. And for me personally, I would have Pittman, Devonta, and Higgins as the next tier with some of the guys you guys mentioned, Cooper, Godwin, something like that. But so what are we thinking here?
Yeah, that's fine. I think we should, if we're chasing ceiling with this, like it could be a good tier break differential. Like Pittman's the ultimate high floor guy, and like with the changes to that offense, I don't think he's gonna hit the same like PPR monster he was last year. So I think he's still a high floor guy. Just not worry. Yeah, it's just I would say the one guy we for sure should add is Cooper Kupp, because like if anybody's going to be the high ceiling guy in one of the top 5 offenses, like I think it's Cooper Kupp. Like he's just dealing with injuries last year. So and then it's really however you want to do it. I'd put DJ Moore in here. Like I think DJ Moore's really good, so we could do him. And then Flowers, take Dell or Cooper. I think Cooper's not a good bet. So whichever way you guys want to go with this is fine.
I have Cooper over Moore, but they're really close.
Who over Moore?
Cooper. Amari.
Wow. Okay, see, I could be convinced to add DJ Moore. I think the other 3 I have Cooper would be my next highest guy, but I'm not even considering Flowers or Dell in this tier for me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
No.
What was that?
Cooper has best season. Like Cooper had the best season of his career, and I think I get the issues with Sean Watson, but like it's him and Njoku. There's no other competition for those targets. So yeah, like I'd be fine with going through it.
So we're adding Cooper to this tier?
Yeah, I'd be fine with it.
Okay.
And I'm not going to fight you on Michael Pittman. I would keep him here. I just think that Adonai Mitchell looks good. Downs is not really as hurt, but I just think Richardson's going to be a much better passer. I trust Shane Steichen really more than anything else, but I'm not going to fight you if he goes to the next tier. That's fine.
I had Pittman. I had Pittman in this tier, and I thought you guys wanted him out. I firmly had Pittman in this tier.
Yeah, I'd say
I had Pittman over Kupp, DJ Moore, and Cooper by a mile.
We can put him back.
Yeah, I'm putting Pittman back. So I guess we'll cap it at 10. That looks like our 10. Is there anyone we think really needs to come out for someone left on the board?
I mean, it's all similar bets. I think you can make the case for any one of those guys down here.
I-
Like I think
I don't
Devonta Smith,
think-
the guy that like gets the hate a little bit too much in this group, but it's fine.
And I don't
This
think
is
this next teardrop is a big difference from this teardrop to
No,
the
but
next.
it's not.
I agree.
And that's what I meant. We're going to get through 10 players in round 4 and 10 players in tier or round 5. And I think from Olave at 401 to whoever's 510, there's not a noticeable difference. That's why I've been getting running backs like James Cook, Ken Walker, Rashad White, whoever you like in that running back spot, and then just taking whichever of these receivers. Because even now, as I look at them, like there's one or two I prefer over the others, but if you told me I can get the 2 running backs I want or 1 running back I want, and then it's like Pittman, Cooper, the guy I like least in this group is probably, I don't know, maybe DJ Moore. If you told me DJ Moore was the guy I got, oh, well, I'm fine with that. So for me, it's just round or tier 4 or 5 here. It's like a 20-player group. So I guess we'll get started. Do we want? I feel like Diggs needs to be included here, but it's kind of gross. Do we include Diggs in this tier?
Doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. Like I think a few of us are higher on Tank is also the thing too. But
Yeah,
I think
Diggs is similar in the same. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Flowers. I'm putting both Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy in this tier. Like I'm doing that with the Chiefs guys.
Okay, do we have Pickens?
You can make the case for Pickens, like without Deontay, he had a 29% target share for a month last year. So you can definitely make Pickens if you want.
I'd put Diggs over Pickens though.
Okay, well, I'm putting in the guys that I have, and then you guys can talk me in or out of whoever it is. So
do we have Deontay?
I also have
Deontay.
What's
that?
that?
I have him in the tier above. So
Deontay.
Deontay.
I think I do have Diggs
and Godwin. The problem is this tier's too big. So like I'm gonna make the case for like 15 dudes. I think Deontay, Godwin, all of these guys are good bets at this range. So it's really up to what you guys want to do.
Okay, so this is roughly what I have for this tier. I'm sure the ones you guys are gonna disagree on is Terry McLaurin. I've been higher because there's nobody there. I put Diggs in just because I think him and Dell are pretty similar. Deontay, I don't know. This is the tier for me. What do you guys think? Who's in? Who's out?
Man, I'm gonna make the case for Calvin Ridley. I know we all love him, but I mean, I think
he's gonna play
the role for Will Levis. You have
Will Hopkins.
I love how SC. I love how SC has become the Calvin Ridley guy. I love this.
Man. I mean, he came out, had a 1,000-yard season last season, right? And he has less competition this year. They don't have Derrick Henry there to run the rock like they normally want to. And, Will Levis, he does have a strong arm. Is he accurate? I mean, that's to be decided. But Ridley's going to be the main target there. So
that is a big question mark. If he's accurate, it'll make a world of difference. I'm with you. I think there's a lot of guys you can make. Like if we're gonna, I would just rather chase the upside of Xavier Worthy in the Chiefs offense than freaking Calvin Ridley in the Titans offense. Like if I'm splitting the two of those, I'm going to go after the young rookie wide receiver who shows promise. Where Ridley's target earning profile is kind of okay. But he was out of position last year. It wasn't working great for him. So the issue is hopefully they don't play him at X until DeAndre Hopkins is back. Because if they play him at X, it's going to be a fucking problem. Do not play him there. Put the old Gabe Davis, just whatever guy at X. I don't care. Just don't put Calvin Ridley there, please.
Okay, so is there anyone out of my 10 who you guys all agree has to come out? I assume, like I said, McLaurin and Diggs are going to be the ones you guys will probably want out, but thoughts?
No, I actually like McLaurin there. I mean, I think he's going to fit the role just being the primary, especially losing Dotson. They have Luke McCaffrey and, Diami Brown. I mean, he's going to be the main target for Jaden Daniels. And we know Jaden Daniels could throw the dots, right? So, I mean, that's all he needs to do. McLaurin has the speed to stretch it. He has some playmaking ability. He wants the balls in his hands. So, I mean, I like that there.
Yeah, he's just staying on the left side of the field running all those stupid freaking Cliff Kingsbury routes. It's gonna be frustrating as hell, man.
The route bush. Yeah, he's got the route bush.
He's got the route bush for sure. It's gonna be frustrating, but yeah, if he gets up to 150 targets, I like the upside with Jaden Daniels in that offense. He can theoretically, because there's nobody else learning targets in that offense. We like Sanat, we like Byron Robinson stuff, but it's him and nobody else. So yeah, I'm fine with it.
If we extend the tier a little bit, I mean Diggs and Rice, I have them right next to each other, but just above them, I have JSN and I have Rome. So either one of those guys, I think, kind of can fit in here. But JSN for me kind of belongs here. I'm just ridiculously high on the Seattle offense.
Yeah,
Okay, so what do we think? Diggs or JSN?
I would say Diggs.
It's
JSN for me.
But yeah, like I would actually make the case for Worthy over JSN because he doesn't have DK Metcalf, so like there's the chance he could be the wide receiver one. But like I don't think it's gonna happen. I just think there's a higher likely outcome of that for him than it is JSN being the wide receiver one in Seattle.
And Tyler Lockett's still there, right? So I mean, Lockett's still gonna demand his own targets. I like JSN for sure, and I would try to go buy him if you can. But for redraft, I don't think he's gonna necessarily blow out over Diggs or anything like that. But you're probably as high on the Seattle offense as I'm high on the Houston offense. So they both have 3 wide receivers.
I do understand being high on the Houston offense. That makes sense. Maybe I'm just high being high on the Seattle offense.
What, Jesse? What's your favorite team?
The Seahawks. Yeah.
SC, what's your favorite team?
Houston.
Oh,
gee, I wonder how that happened. Well, like, what are the odds?
Hey, I'm not the one
that your favorite team.
I'm the one that has JSN lower, so you're yeah, but yeah, 100%. Like I don't think the Seahawks.
Goddamn homers. All right, I guess we're kind of calling this a tier, and we're gonna move on. This is truly where it becomes a fucking clusterfuck here for me. So, let's just start with the top of the list, and you guys say yes or no to include them. We'll try and limit it to 10. I'm sure we could have gone 40. Like I'm sure this could have been one big ass tier here, but
yeah.
Keenan Allen, in or out?
Out.
Christian Kirk,
Out.
And
you know who I'm high on that offense, so it's gonna be BTJ. So
I have him in as well.
I'm in with BTJ as well.
Yeah, I would prefer BTJ. If we're going for a Jaguar receiver, give me BTJ over Christian Kirk. But it's like I still got other guys above both of them.
Holy fuck, is BTJ down there? Roma Dunze. In?
Yes.
For me, he's in.
See, I'm gonna put a Dunze in because I'm sure that's what you guys want, but I in redraft this year prefer Keenan Allen over Roma Dunze.
You good? They're close.
The NFL's old school, man. There's no way they're gonna just bump the old ass veteran for a rookie, no matter how good he is. This is what we see.
Their running backs suck is really the problem. I mean, I just see them being used in the passing game, and they're just gonna have to pass the ball 800 times this season. So,
yeah, I think it's just
with a rookie quarterback.
Like the big difference
who's looked awesome.
Yeah, Romo Dunze is just a far more complete player than JSN was coming out.
Okay, you guys keep going. I got an issue here. One second.
I think we should definitely add Xavier Worthy. If we add that, and then there's a couple guys buried, but Jade, you can make the case for Jade Reed. I'm lower on him. What else we got? I'd put Flowers in here if we already didn't do Flowers. I don't see Flowers on there, so I would put Flowers.
Oh yeah, we missed him. Yep.
So we'd add those couple guys. SC, who else would you add to this group?
I'm trying to look at it too. Man, I think I'm just trying to look through them now too.
Well, Calvin Ridley, right? You mentioned Ridley earlier. I think this is a good spot for him. That makes a lot of sense. Another guy I have here is Jameson Williams. I think just the upside case for him if that offense goes off. I mean, I'm not really putting him behind Cortland Sutton and DeAndre Hopkins with the injury and the age and, Keenan Allen. So I have him above there just for the upside shot.
Okay, who do I have to move up here?
Likely. I don't know.
Worthy.
Yeah.
Who else were we saying?
Worthy Ridley, and who else?
Ridley. I would put
Ridley.
Yeah, Reed's there. I would put him there.
Zay Flowers.
Sorry, I had a child issue. My kid got stuck in something. Which is ironic because last time I got stuck in something, I had him. But anyways, that's another story. Who else are we missing? I have JSN here.
Yeah, let's do him.
JSN. Let me just scroll through and see if there's anyone. I have Keenan Allen
Zay's
here.
One before. We can throw Keenan there. Zay's on the top.
Who'd you say?
Zay's already in.
Oh, he's in. Okay, cool.
I also have Jameson Williams here. Thoughts on Jameson?
Yeah. I mean, it's 3 against 1. We'll put him in there. That's fine. And then, do we want to go Keenan Allen?
Who's the one who doesn't like JMO?
Me.
Jesse.
I just don't.
I like Keenan Allen. I had him over.
He's Will Fuller, but there's significantly more card competition. So it's just tough case to make for him.
That's true.
I think it'll be fun in best ball though. I like that.
Will Fuller. That's
like,
gross.
deep threat that would catch some bombs. That's what Will Fuller did his entire career. That's going to be Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Hey, if he stays healthy,
I love Will Fuller.
if he stays healthy, we were drafting Will Fuller in like the 6th round at one point. So.
Hey, I traded the last year before, like when he retired that year, I traded a 3rd and 4th round pick for Will Fuller, and then he fucking retired. And I go, damn it.
Hey, so are we missing anyone in this tier?
You could do Hollywood, you could do Keon, you could do Addison, you could do Sutton.
I was thinking Hollywood. I have Hollywood. I
yeah.
know he's going to miss time, but I have Hollywood.
Also, DeAndre Hopkins, we can make the case for too. Like, I think he was better than Calvin Ridley last year. Just overall, like everything you want to look at, he was better than Calvin Ridley. So I think you can make the case for either one of those guys.
He's going to play week 1, but I don't think he's going to be 100%.
Yeah.
So that's my only concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to move on to the next tier?
That's when it gets gross.
Who are we thinking goes in this tier for sure?
I would just start throwing all these guys on the top of the board. Like Hopkins, I would do Sutton. I would do Addison. We can do Coleman. Like, I would just go top of the board, guys, because
this is the group. This is the group here where I really don't want to be drafting a receiver. Let me tell you that, because I don't really like any of these guys.
Yeah,
chase the rookies in this range for sure.
Yeah,
like, this is the ideal spot where you get the discount.
Agree with that, but I don't see it with Keon Coleman. I mean, I know there's not much there, but Curtis Samuel is familiar with this offense and this coaching staff. Khalil Shakir, I mean, go back and look at the highlights. Like, when he was given an opportunity, he looked really good. I'm just not convinced that Keon Coleman is better than those 3 receivers. And if he's the number 4 target in this offense, I don't think he should be this high. So that's my argument against him. But he is a rookie. We don't totally know, and he could be dominant. So
I think where we're drafting these guys is like we're almost getting double digits in like the drafts, right? So like I don't mind taking the shot. You can just fucking cut them if they suck, right? Like, and you can pick someone off waiver wires. I think we can make the case for Joshua Palmer. Like, he's another guy, like similar to Lab McConkey. He could be largely the one there. AD Mitchell's a fun bet with the injury to Josh Downs. I think AD Mitchell has upside in that offense. Do that too. I would say Shaheed, but I know him and Wicks I'm a little bullish on those guys. So
a little spicy.
Yeah, it's a little spicy for sure. It's just we gotta throw somebody else in here. I just don't know who we're gonna throw in. You can do Polk if you really wanted to. Like, if you want to go for it.
I would do AD over Polk though.
That's fine. We can do that. There's also Dobbs you can make the case for. I think he's going to be running all of the routes in that offense. Yeah.
Anybody in this 10 here that really needs to come out, or anyone who really needs to be added?
I mean, it's all kind of just if Mike Williams was healthy, I would say Mike Williams for sure because he's a decent NFL player. It's just,
I'm not even considering Mike Williams at any point in my draft ever. I'm done with this. I'm not doing Mike Williams anymore. I'm just.
The crazy thing is he averages like 16 points a game when he's healthy. Like, he's actually good. It's just he's never healthy.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is he's going to score one game of 16 points this year, and then he's not going to play the other 16. Is what
give me that one game. Flex it up, baby. Let's go.
I know people like Watson, but man, I think Romeo Doubs is the better wide receiver there. Watson's good.
I do
he
too.
can stay healthy, and Love has a good connection with him. So that would be.
I think we should have. If we're having one of them, just put both of them in. Take like Shaheed or whoever.
Take Lockett out. I would take Lockett out.
Oh yeah, take Lockett out and just go with Watson. Like, put them both in here. I think it's fine.
That tier is gross.
So like, it's so clear you want. I want the elite wide receivers. It's so desperately clear. Like, even when we get to that tier 4, like the Smith, the Flowers, the Dells, like. I want the truly elite wide receivers because running back depth is great, right? So I just go those guys.
Yeah.
Round 7 was the first round we got to where I really don't particularly want any of these guys unless they really fall. That's a gross tier.
It gets rough.
All right, I guess we'll move on to the next tier. Gross. Shakir, I guess, has to go in there.
Yep.
Samuel,
Mike Williams. Yeah, all those guys. Just
Kobe.
The old.
Yeah.
This is where you throw in Lockett.
I don't know if I want to put Jacoby in here. Like,
this is like an infirmary here.
This is
one guy. I put
Jalen Polk in here. Him and
guy,
Dante.
yes,
those guys in.
Yes. One guy you have to scroll down to put in this tier though is DeMarcus Robinson. He belongs here, if not above, for me. He's going to be in those 3 wide receiver sets. Stafford, elite. So I'm all in on him as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
1 sec, I'm still scrolling through here.
What about McMillan, guys?
I think it's a little hot.
I like that.
But I would
like
I
it.
would go Polk above McMillan because we didn't
Agree.
get Polk in yet, did we?
Agree.
What the hell is? I already got.
Wait,
Polk,
is
didn't I?
Lad not on here, or whose name was that?
Yeah,
Lad's
that's
in
in
round
there.
7.
Okay, good. I thought that's Luke McCaffrey. That's who it was. Okay, I was like, I saw a white guy named. I was like, wait a second,
That's who I have right
so
here.
do we want to do Gabe Davis because he's gonna be running all the routes as the wide receiver 2 in that offense, or do we want Xavier Leggett, the guy who could be the wide receiver 2 in
Gabe
Carolina?
Davis?
Like,
It's got to be Gabe.
It's
got to be.
Oh wait,
want
I
Gabe
would actually
Davis.
prefer Dontavian Wicks. Throw Dontavian Wicks over Gabe Davis. I'll make the case for him. Like, I want the Packers offense, and he could.
There's
be the
5
1.
players I'd take Dontavian Wicks over Gabe Davis. Like, I have no interest in Robinson. I have no interest in Williams. I have no interest in Curtis Samuel. I have Polk as probably the second receiver on the Patriots. I don't think we're going to get a consensus here because I don't particularly agree with any of these players, but that's just me.
I think the floor with Dontavian Wicks is super low, but the ceiling is like higher than basically everyone else on this list, I think is the way I phrase that. Yeah. So I'm fine taking the shot. Like, that's just how I play. It's really up to you guys if you want to do that or not.
But he's a part-time player, right? At least for now. I mean,
that's the thing.
At least going into the season. Yeah.
Because we know Robinson's at best wide receiver 3. Yeah, like it's a lot of these guys are capped from their ceiling perspective. So it's just kind of.
I mean, yeah, all of these guys need injury basically to pay off. But if they get that and they get the work, we know they can and will pay off.
I don't think Gabe Davis or Jerry Jeudy do. They're both pretty much the 2 in their offense, I think.
Yeah,
I guess Bryant and BTJ might be the 2, but
like also Jacoby Myers, like I don't see upside with him this year. Like Lockett, I think it's probably capped, but Lockett's just a better player. So like it is kind of what it is, right?
I agree. But Myers, didn't he get double-digit touchdowns like last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, he was solid.
Yeah,
he was solid last year. Like he saw like 110 targets. Yeah, I think it's just that addition of Brock Bowers really limits him this year, especially once AOC in front of next year.
I'm gonna skip a tier here, or skip around, so we can just do this. And we'll end it with this one. I'm not gonna stop it at 10. We'll just go receivers that we have. That we think are worthwhile drafting in your standard like 15-team redraft league, and we're just gonna fill up the board with anyone. We'll leave like Cooks. I have no interest in, but okay. So Myers, you guys think he's worthwhile, or are you just out?
If Jeremy wants to make the case for it, I'm fine with it.
No, I don't. Yeah. I don't want to make the case.
Yeah,
about.
So I think we should definitely throw Leggett up here.
Yep.
Okay.
Did we get Wicks in there? We did.
Yeah,
Wicks I put up for
in there.
I actually
just a sec.
Yeah.
So we're out on Cooks, I assume.
I mean, in this range of the draft, I don't mind Cooks, but his profile sucks now. Like it's kind of he's cooked.
But they didn't draft anyone either. You know who they get? Fournette. So I mean, and then they have Zeke as a running back and Cook on practice squad. So
it's rough. It's like I don't think anyone's gonna be earning targets at the wide receiver 2 spot. I think it's just gonna be like they're gonna be rotating guys where he has a week, and it's just gonna be rough. So
I'd take a shot on him though.
I am. For best ball, sure, but the wide receiver 3 in that offense, like, is he gonna outscore Goddard, like earning target? It's just really tough for him as wide receiver in that offense.
Okay, are there any of these guys worth it? Because I'm out. I don't want Myers, Cooks, Dotson, Downs, Pearsall. Thielen, maybe if you're desperate.
I'd put the case for Thielen. I'd put the case for
I would say Downs and Pearsall. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I got a name. It's uglier than Demarcus Robinson. It's Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar on the Baltimore Ravens. Listen, you don't love it, but Lamar Jackson likes this guy. He's a downfield threat. I mean, he's someone who I'm not going to draft, but he's someone I'm going to be monitoring on the waiver wire and see if he gains that consistent role. And, listen, we have a more pass-centric offense than we've had in Baltimore. I know Derrick Henry's there now. There's no one behind Derrick Henry. It's Justice Hill is the number 2. I mean, it's a mess there in the running game, and the offensive line is not the run blocking, unit it was even just last year. So, look, Lamar's great as a runner. Derrick Henry's great as a runner, but I think Nelson Aguilar, he's the 3 at worst over there.
Do you want to take the upside shot on Bateman, or you want to do Aguilar?
I prefer Bateman by a lot.
I think we can make the case for one of those guys. It's fine. Like a Bateman,
but he hasn't done it. But he hasn't done it. Like that's the thing. Will he ever do it? They keep hyping him up for what? We've never seen it. It's been 3 years now. I'm out. I'm out on Bateman.
Do we have any
Let's
interest
do
in
Burton. Let's add
No.
Burton to the list because I actually like the upside shot of Burton.
Well, I'm getting there, but I'm trying to go down the list in order here, but we seem to be just fucking jumping all over. Mooney, do we have interest in Mooney or Pearsall?
You're right. This was very well organized regardless.
No interest in Mooney though. I mean, I just don't think he's.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be there. Pearsall, man, he just got shot, so I mean, you gotta give him his flowers. You know, if he comes
you don't know
out
about that
and
mini
balls
man
out.
freaking gift come on week 5. It's coming strong, baby.
Oh yeah,
it's just
Brian
like,
Robinson got shot and came out, right? So I mean,
Yep.
Michael Wilson, I saw you just on him.
Michael Wilson,
him or Dortch is fine. If you prefer one of those guys, I don't care. Like Wilson.
Where is Dortch? Is Dortch where? Atlanta now?
He's buried. He's absolutely buried.
Oh no, he's still in Arizona.
So
Mims or
what do we think about? No, I'm not doing
Corley?
Mims or Corley?
I would rather do McCaffrey than Mims.
I'll throw out Wandale.
This is a slot. The scam code, baby. Let's go.
I don't mind Baker.
Corley too.
Yeah, Baker's fine upside shot. I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
And who?
Did we get all the Packers guys?
I think. Yeah. I mean, you could go down to Bo Melton if you really want to.
Yeah, you're okay. You're all right.
No. Yeah, you know what I'm
saying. Are we seeing anyone on this list here?
Is Mechie for sure the wide receiver 4 over there? Because if so, I would take the outside shot on him.
Mechie too. He's just so idea to see him do it. But yeah, I mean, he'll probably do it. But with them having all their wide receivers and Dalton Schultz, I mean, I think that's too much. But then also another rookie guy. I was just seeing him. Should go off the list. Let me see the guys on there. Oh, A.T. Perry, not a rookie, but A.T. Perry. I'd put A.T. Perry there too, out in New Orleans. I think he could just be a red zone target. So if you're chasing just some sort of upside, I think he could be the guy. Get some good touchdowns.
Okay, is there anybody left on this list of nastiness that we think is still worth drafting, or like are these all undraftable?
I mean, if there's an injury in San Francisco, Pearsall, no, I'm not doing fucking Tyler Boyd. Like I'm just not doing it, man. It's rough.
Yeah, we're done. Let's be done.
You can do it. You can make the case for Jacoby for this far down the list. Like,
if you want to throw darts, I mean Malik Washington out there.
Yoshibas.
Yep, the other guy. Like we're just targeting good offenses at this point. And hopefully one of those guys hits. That's all we're doing.
100%.
So I think if we're doing Washington, we might as well do Pearsall.
And Hyatt theoretically should be the number 2 there. So, you know, with Neighbors there, maybe he becomes the stretch guy like he was in college, and that's something where you can take a shot on too.
Here, Aaron, sort by projected points. I'm curious to see who Sleeper has as the top projected wide receiver left. Cooks, yes.
Yeah.
Is anybody doing the Roman Wilson experience in Pittsburgh this year?
No, I was, but he's hurt now. I'm looking through. Oh, there's the Yoshivash. Okay, yeah, that's it. But if you look, so we've got 3 rounds of just absolute gross. Oh, why did these guys go back up? Anyways, we've got 2 rounds here of nastiness. So.
Yeah. Once we get past that, like where we talk about the Wicks guys and all of that range, like you're really screwed at wide receiver. So make sure you get there, the top 50, basically. Outside of that, it's
all right, check back tomorrow at noon, I think. Did we decide on noon tomorrow? I know we have some scheduling conflicts this week, but check back tomorrow where we are going to do running backs. Our last projection show before we finally get into some week 1 content here. So the off season is about to come to an end. We will see you tomorrow to close it out and get back in gear. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.